Gonna make another video. There's like something fairly large. I don't even think, I'm not even sure if it's a mouse. I don't think it's a mouse because it sounds pretty heavy. It sounds like a pretty heavy creature, reptile, reptile, but not a reptile, but some sort of I don't know. I'm thinking it's a ferret. Could be. I don't think it's a raccoon, but it sounds pretty heavy. It could be a raccoon. But I'm thinking either a very large rat. It's not a mouse. But anyway, I just moved into this place and thought I'd make a video, some topics that what went on today, what my plans are, what I've gotten done. I've been cleaning up the entire downstairs and spraying alcohol in the air because it disinfects. Many years ago, I grew, when I was in I was about 18, I grew some mushrooms. I know, psychedelic mushrooms. I never ate them though. And one of the methods that we were figuring out, biological chemicals and whatnot, soil and what needs to get done and how fungus grows, is that you can actually mix water and alcohol and spray it to detoxify the air because there's bacteria in the air and it's highly, highly sensitive. So it's one of the ways that I learned that there's bacteria in the air that even though it doesn't usually get us sick in most cases, it'll sterilize the air because there's certain things that you do in life, like operating rooms, that are really highly sensitive to germs. That's why you see doctors, they really scrub between their nails and fingers really well and all the way up to their arms, for a solid 10 minutes with a highly, highly disinfectant. And they put, all kinds of different stuff for air, not to infect the room. And I think of this because I'm living in this basement and it's 3 floors. Could be 4. This is 2 floors above me. I think it could be a 3rd one. But you have all this dust in this old ass house that's just settling this moss and dirt, and you can see stains all over the ceilings, and you can see water stains, and you can look at the environment like this is the kind of house that you would probably think you wouldn't want to be in if you're really not looking to get some sort of bacteria. I've heard of people getting dying. I know there was a famous actor, a blonde girl. I remember hearing about this back in like the late 90s or early 2000s that died because there was a fungus that was in the vents. She inhaled it and got sick and died. But the mildew that produces between sheetrock and all this material is a perfect contamination environment for something that could be very lethal. And I'm a prior cancer patient with high blood cholesterol, a risk of a heart attack and stroke, and I'm being shot with electronic devices, and I'm a cigarette smoker. And here I am sleeping for $500 on a fucking bed that looks like it's been in a dumpster site for at least 6 months. And this is a really old ass fucking house. So it's one of the only things that's just very nerve-wracking about this is that there's a lot of bacteria within the walls and that build up. And then you have rats and all this dust, and it's a really old house. There's roaches and shit. So this is a perfect contamination of an environment that you can find. You can get some sort of fungus. You inhale this shit and fucking get really sick, or like asbestos, or some of these chemicals that rot. You can get very sick by it. You can die from that shit. So I've been disinfecting the floor for the last 5 days repeatedly with a high powerful Mr. Clean antibacterial all over the floor to neutralize the floor and the wood can rot as well. you get a lot of rotten wood, which is not good at all. So I disinfected the stairs and a little bit of the upstairs and up the exit doors so that it hopefully helps trailing any more bacteria and dirt, just to do any prevention. I cleaned the other room, which is not even mine, wiped down everything, cleaned the refrigerator with the antibacterial solution. It kills all the germs and a couple of other high toxic germs that are not just germs but diseases like Sarcoidsio. I don't know. This is it's on the bottle. So these other dangerous chemicals. I mean germs that can really harm a person. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and over the last 8 days, I'm doing everything I can to get my hygiene ready, get situated in my room. I applied for food stamps, applied for Medicare, changed my addresses. I've been clean the bathroom. I still got a whole lot more work to do. I gotta scrub the fucking tub. I don't have a tub, but I have to scrub the fucking bathroom. Make sure everything is as clean as I can get it. So at least when I leave, this place is clean. And whoever this person comes in to rent this room will now have another place to live that's actually decent and clean. Because when I got here, this place looked really fucking old. I can't even believe that of all this electronic devices and all this shit that's going on, living in this kind of environment, it almost seems like it's safer to sleep outside just because there's so many bacteria shit. But yeah, so I got situated, got my food stamps going now. All I gotta do now is I've been going back and forth in downtown the last few days, and I've been going to the library having to print out paperwork and having to fax this paperwork, and I've already now getting situated with the dental program. All I'm now doing for the last 2 days now, last 2-3 days, I've been just waiting. It was 2-3 days when I spoke to the person over at Dental Lifeline program that now has told me that now it's just waiting. It's a waiting period. Once this waiting period gets completed, they'll give me a call. It could be a month, 2 months. I don't think it'll be a month, but couple months. She said it could be several months, 4 or 5 months even. So that's what I'm looking forward toward, is getting my teeth fixed and my root canal, which is over $5,000, and eventually make a doctor visit once my Medicaid starts. I'm grateful today because they said it was like $189 of food stamps, and then starting next month I get $287 or something like that. It was like $250 of food stamps, and that's really good because I can eat healthy. I can at least try to eat healthy, and I can go. And I haven't bought a scooter because I figured I'd save some money and do a little bit more walking to get some exercise. So I can do some walking exercise. It's an hour one way to the grocery store and an hour back the other way. And I'll eat fruit to kind of help cleanse my body and get my heart circulating. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what my cholesterol level is, but I know it's at a dangerous level. So I'm hoping that maybe I can make a doctor visit and get on this cholesterol medication, because I've had high blood cholesterol for a while. And, I don't even know what to believe when they tell me that the high blood cholesterol, I mean, it's very terrifying for me to believe that I think they're lying to me because of all the bullshit that's been going on. When I had a bone marrow transplant and they didn't tell me my brother were twins or my mother was triplets, and the transplant itself didn't even seem legitimate. How is it that I have two brothers that are not even identical? They're not even my brothers, full brothers. They're not even my full brothers. We don't have the same mother and the same father. And yet they were both perfect matches. And I was fucking dying in a fucking hospital with liver failure. from the chemotherapy. How the fuck is anyone not telling me this? How can this be fucking legal that somebody can do this to me? But I honestly believe that I don't believe that I have blood cholesterol. I mean, I could. Maybe it's a little higher. I don't fucking know. It's very terrifying when all of these people take control of whatever goes on in my life and all this attention, because I don't know how much betrayal and shit is going on that I'm trying to take care of my health and I can't. But anyway, I'm going to start looking for a job probably sometime Friday at the latest. I'm thinking probably Thursday or Friday. Tomorrow I gotta wake up early, and then I gotta go back to the fucking food stamp office and get an approval letter so that I could then go downtown again and then give them the approval letter over at the bus public bus transportation to get free bus rides. Because it's $2 every time I jump on that bus. It's $2 one way and then $2 my way back, and it's a fortune. But I'm so happy that I'll be able to get free bus rides. And that's the plan right now. It's kind of going on, and I got a whole lot of cleaning to do. Regardless if I'm doing cleaning and kind of get it situated so that I feel comfortable in my own headquarters. I make some noodles or microwave something. I don't have to worry about so much germs, and I kind of feel a little more leisure, comfort to be in those types of environments. I won't ever be using it, but if I do, it's there. Because I still got to buy clothes. Like, I had somebody steal a t-shirt from me. I don't know if it was when I was here or before I left Dallas, and it's very upsetting. And on top of all this stuff that's going on, the stress is fucking killing me. Just thinking about, I try not to think about it, of all the shit that's going on. People have no fucking idea. There isn't anybody on my side. I have no idea how perpetrating it is when I know to the deepest cores of what's going on, that you have thousands of people in downtown, and everywhere I go, they're talking about my sister. They're behaving like Madison. They're turning their tables on my sister Michaela. And I know what they're doing. I go to the front desk of the discount bus fare office, and it looks like Madison. And then this person gets an attitude, but not necessarily toward me, and points to. He goes, "No, it's that door over there," and gets an attitude. So I can pick up on the understanding of, oh, let's go attack my sister Michaela, because I've never officially got introduced to her, because Madison's white and this is a Supreme, police department little princess girl, and then my mother being mocked in front of total strangers by transgenders. I mean, it's building up a stroke. It's what it's doing, because these people don't give a goddamn fuck about how innocent and what truth and justice is at a basic moral standing. They don't care. All they do is pick a side. It doesn't matter how many people this person and what's responsible for the horrors of what a human being is responsible for doing. They just pick a side and they don't give a shit. And it's very stressful to even the lack of things. I don't think I'll be able to stop smoking, but at least I get some sort of exercise. And I don't drink, so since last month, for about a month, I was eating junk food, normal food. I go to Jack in the Box, give me some Jack in the Box tacos, grab a burger, a Whataburger, whatever it may be. See how my body felt? I did gain about 10 pounds, and I didn't eat horrifically a whole lot. And it's the only time I've ever eaten like that in years. So I had to sort of break the rules, well, not break the rules, but I had to sort of bend the rules to the situation of me not eating any meat anymore, to try to at least make an attempt to try to make things help my body more healthy. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be eating meat at all, and I haven't, other than the last couple of days I bought sandwiches to buy sandwich meat and save some money, and it's easy for me to make it easy on the go, and just the calories that I need, and I don't have to mingle too much in the kitchen and all that other stuff. But that is what kind of going on. I don't want to be eating meat, but I have to right now. Hopefully, maybe later down the road, get a little more comfortable in situations, and I'd like to go back to my not eating meat, but I won't be eating junk food out in the streets with any meat on it. I would be eating extremely healthy. I mean, very healthy all the time, but it is very hard, extremely hard, when you have this amount of stress that's going on. I can't walk into a Starbucks I can't walk into a grocery store that somebody wanted to defend Kenneth Cooper because my brother was getting ass fucking raped, and they're trying to make him into a hero. They're turning the tables and making up stories to force me and get me to believe that. And the beatings of these electronic devices convey that if I do not listen and obey what their story is of my mother and Frankie and Kenneth, and whatever horrors that had happened that they know nothing about, that they just want to choose sides for, then I'm going to be punished for it. It is basically like a horsewhip. Somebody horsewhipping my ass to get me to believe what they want me to believe. And they're working me. I mean, it's so boggling to me that my brother got raped by 10 fucking homosexual, fucking ripping his ass open in front of me. Okay, for 15 fucking years, and I have Ken Cooper supporters walking out of the fucking buildings, walking into Starbucks in riots to protect this fucking filthy pig and Kenneth. Kenneth is a primary of this goddamn disgusting parasitical piece of shit of what he did to my mother, me, and Frankie. And this was a suicide mission that since Ken's dead already, he's been dead for a very long time. That worthless son of a bitch has been dead for a long time. And it doesn't change the fact that that was just a suicide. It was this motherfucker, Kenneth, that did this. And it's crazy because nobody understands the psychology, and I don't think anybody gives a shit enough to pay attention to protect my well-being and my state of mind of what they're trying to convey. It is very bad. It's really fucking bad. And there is nothing more than I can say about what all this is going on. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, when I got raped by that transgender, this motherfucker is responsible for this shit. And every president that is allowing to continue to do this, they're all doing this. I'm going into fucking grocery stores, and people think they're Barack Obama himself. And they start there's a lost identity what these people fucking have. These people don't have identities. They're lost, completely lost in identity. They think they are Ken Cooper. They don't have their own personality. They think that that's who the God is. I mean, it's fucking crazy. But there's no straight women at all. Not a single one in sight. But it's very, very, it is very, very bad because, I mean, it's building up a stroke. It's building up an early death sentence. It's as bad as it's been in the past. It's only gotten worse in the details of what these people are doing. It is hard for me because I was a part of that, rapings, and it is so hard to understand, like, why are you defending a child molester? Why are you feeling sorry for a child molester that's fucking the shit out of a 5-year-old little boy, weighs 250 pounds, beating the shit out of him, and you want to feel sorry for him, and you want to express that in front of me at a fucking grocery store, or at a fucking, and you want to feel sorry for Ken Cooper and Kenneth and Sarah. because they're old now. One's dead, and you want to feel sorry for the new DJ, Kenneth. Oh, you want to make up the story. You think you know what's going on. You didn't know a goddamn thing, and they beat the fuck out of me to make up this baloney shit. It is not me bringing this up in front of people. It is them in a huge war, military war, for Kenneth Cooper at the radio station at 97, 98. He doesn't work there no more. But this is what they're all doing it for. They don't give a goddamn. They want to justify it. My mother, being raped in front of me. I mean, it is fucking it is. I can't do anything other than knowing that President Barack Obama he was the one that had that firearm when it happened, and he doesn't sense anything. It goes the way he wants. He is the one that gave that to Kenneth. He is the one that's treasuring and sending his people. He's the one that's giving that goddamn order, whatever political. These are mass murderers. I don't like dealing with those types of people. But it's like an assembly line. People want to take ownership and feel sorry for Patricia Gaidina. I think Patricia Gaidina is deceased now. I think that's why I feel very strongly that I don't think this person is alive anymore and hasn't been for a while. I think, one of the reasons I say that is because when I went to talk to Patricia Gaidina at a restaurant, Mexican restaurant, it was a bit of a tropical. It was a bit of a tropical type of restaurant, and I don't think that they would have told her or told this individual to go there, and it was probably because she knew she was gonna die. I think Patricia Gaidina knew that death, she was gonna die, and that's why. But is anything as I have to say about this it is mauling me apart, because there's nothing funny about this. This is just all in riots for Kenneth. Feeling sorry for a piece. There are people out on the fucking streets that deserve a house. That didn't steal anything. Did not do the fraction of amount of damage what Kenneth did and Sarah. And it's horrible not just horrible, it's a nightmare. That if you thought you understood what a fucking nightmare is, you really realize how worthless your life is to other people, especially like Barack Obama and several other leaders like that. That your life is completely disposable and worthless, and it's only good for their resources and their movement and where they want to place you and what they're going to do with you. You're absolutely worthless, and you don't understand that enough until something like that happens, and people in prison understand that, or jail, how worthless your life is, because that's all it's valued at. Your death doesn't cry, doesn't have emotion. You're worthless to these people. It is unbelievable. It hits. I am a fucking super genius when I can tell you that if it's anybody that should have been thrown in a fucking furnace alive, burned alive, it was that motherfucker and those parasitical motherfuckers are what they did. Because what I did for my mother and what I did for my father was fucking garbage shit. Treated, compared. They're literally training me to make me think and believe that Kenneth was a hero and I didn't understand his story. No, fuck you. It is. They knew since the age of 5 years old. Kenneth knew the words that he's talking about, taking ownership of my dead sister Miranda, my biological father. He begins referencing with Chip Michaela. He knows about Frankie being raped. The manipulative words that he uses when I'm in conversation with him, when I'm in his apartment, or when he comes and pucks me out in front of my apartment, when I was trying to get on this blonde girl that lived upstairs, and he came to threaten me, and I knew what this was about. Someone had dispatched his faggots. The fact that I'm going to my job site and all these faggots are fucking attacking me, feeling, hey, guess who's on the radio? Let's attack Hector. Because you bought my mother a $1.5 million fucking house with her fucking twins, and Frankie's getting his ass fucking ripped open. Frankie didn't have one friend, and they're changing everything and beating me so that Kenneth will be able to enter the circle and be treated as a hero and get scudded off. And the president is doing this. The president of the United States is who gave him that. He did that on purpose. President Barack Obama had the ability to approach me and did those disgusting behaviors to me when I was at the grocery store, McDonald's. Those were very clear statements that were made. When I'm getting tickets and I'm having to work 8 or 10 hours a fucking day, when they control my bank accounts, PayPal accounts, they control so much about what's going on, he's giving his people, he's giving the guns, and he's giving those orders for them people to do that to me, when he is not doing that to them. And they deserve that type of punishment. To do that to my mother and re-identify, it is evil. I mean, I couldn't explain this. The Barack Obama, he's the one he's giving that to them. This is a full-blown, there's so much of the war between race and black and white. That's what that is. Yeah, I don't even know if my biological father's still alive, but anyway, it is very hard to go throughout this day because, I mean, if I had a camera and I was going everywhere I go and I showed y'all the behavior of what people were doing, anytime I come in contact with so many people that they want to take a shot at me. They want to take a shot at me because I'm a meaning of an abusive punching statue because Barack Obama. Or because because you got raped by a transgender and transgender Barack Obama's daughter. I mean, it is so fucked up. Like, I don't believe that a child molester should ever be placed on TV, on a radio. I don't believe someone who wants to defend a child molester or wants to defend a rapist, a child rapist, that not just did it once, but did this in a span of over 10 fucking years. Did this span for over 10 years. You know, you're talking from the age of 5 to fucking 15 years old. To do what he did and then know about it, and then he's completely lying and manipulating with his army and his military, gay homosexuals, and transgenders. That's all this is about. And it's always been, people will take a shot at me when they get a chance. Just feeling sorry for this piece of shit. Like, the president can give those orders and he's not. That is a white supremacist. You deeply insult my own ethnicity as well when you get some white boy like that claiming he's Mexican. It is by the skin color, eye color, and hair color that you own that usually represents the majority of what that ethnicity is, especially in the U.S. And for somebody to just do that type of shit, and disgusting shit because he thinks it's popular, it's such a disgrace, you know, and against me, you know, but it is, the president is the one that's giving that to them. He's the one that's doing this to my mother. There's nothing that I can do. I can tell you that if I was in a courtroom and I brought my documents and I stated out facts and brought witnesses and all this shit, you won't win an argument against me. You won't. Not in a vocal argument when I'm perfectly normal and fine. You will not be, and it's not because I'm using masterminding chess pieces, manipulated bullshit. It's because I use good moral and good understanding and good solid facts of what's very bold and genuine to what it happened and what decisions were made. the circumstances. That's why. And you may not like it, but I know that you won't win an argument with me. And it's not because the battle of an argument, it's because of what's right. And it is bizarre to me. I could never be around someone that was in my situation and be like, oh, you got fucked by Miguel. Man, I feel sorry for him. I just feel sorry for Miguel and Diana because he poisoned your ass. This is Kino. You feel sorry. Kino, sorry. And then, it's so fucked up. It's so beyond the emotions that are involved in these homosexuals that are running into these fucking everywhere I go is beyond anything I can handle. Because they're like demons. They're like fucking evil demons that want to encourage and think that fucking a little kid and punching him and keeping him in his cage for 10 years, never having one friend ever go to his house, to our house, and him suffer through that, thinks that Kenneth should be a hero and be justified with Sarah. They want to feel sorry for that, and I can't. But the Barack Obama's the one that's giving that to them, and he's the one that's doing that. Oh, because they have the ability to make up any story they want. Anything and any make-believe story they want to make, they beat the fuck out of me, and they will get me to say that shit. They will fucking get me shitting out of my ass, beating my brain where I can't even fucking talk. I can't communicate. It's fucking crazy. It's so far beyond anything that I don't believe that is okay. And I don't think anybody should ever be on any entertainment that is involved in that ever in life for any profitable gain, only to be shunned and shamed. Forgiveness, I know, is possible, but I don't think that equals up to a radio DJ contract with Headcrack on the radio stations and all this other goddamn shit. I'm sleeping on the fucking dumpsters and shit when this happens. It's so beyond anything you can't even mention. But I thought I'd make a video on this that it's just unbelievable. It just rises over filthy pigs like that. They think they're Madison. They think they're Kenneth. They are fighting. They think they're Ginger. I had sex with Ginger and was intimate with Ginger, and these motherfuckers, transgenders, want to identify Ginger for me. You're not a fucking real woman. You don't know what that is. You can live your life that way. You're not a fucking real woman. You're not. You weren't born one. It's fine if you want to live like one and think you are one, but you are biologically not a natural born female. So therefore, you are not a female. And that it's very insulting with an ex-girlfriend that had cancer. As you can see her Facebook, she got diagnosed with cancer several years ago. I still don't know where her whereabouts is. But they attacking every chamber of my life because they have a military of individuals, an army of individuals all at me at the same time. And they have everyone know about these informations and all these things that are going on. And, I'm always doing my best to ignore it and just kind of stick to myself and just focus on myself, and that's pretty much it. But I'm still trying to enroll in this GED program, and which is before Friday. I don't know what they're going to tell me. I don't know if they're going to cancel it altogether. But one thing is for sure, if I have to leave this place, I don't give a shit. If I have $500 in my pocket, I'll get up and fucking sleep outside and book a flight, book a bus somewhere. I don't give a fuck. That's something that I'm so used to, and I've done way too many times. But if I have to, I have no choice. My belief in wanting to stay alive and be in a safe environment is my prerogative of everything that I do. So either I'm welcomed or I'm not. You're making the choice. Either there's a bed to sleep on, or there's not. You know, there's a roof over my head, or there's not. But you get more peace sometimes when I was sleeping outside. But it's a very hard at 41 years old, and you know, trying to take care of myself, it becomes extraordinary. There's all these things that you don't understand that they've taken away from me. Like, I can't go lift weights. I was extremely disciplined lifting weights and exercising all the time. And I would have never picking up smoking cigarettes. I didn't start smoking cigarettes all the time until I was like 30 years old. You know, 29 years old, 30 years old, chain smoking all the fucking time. The fact that they're beating me, making me shit every morning on command when I'm on the bus, at the bus stop, or I'm at a fucking food stamp office, I can't physically feel like I physically feel like I cannot go to a gym. I physically can't, and I feel so threatened about these electronic devices that I don't even want to step in a fucking gym. If I do, it'll be maybe once ever, if any. But I'm not allowed to do a repetitive taking care of myself and enjoying life. They won't let me. The reason my body is decayed the way that it is because of them. You know, it breaks my body down, but there's nothing that I can do. You don't understand how worthless my life is to these people, only for their resources and purpose, not my own. But, supposed to be pretty cold in Rhode Island. I don't know when it starts snowing. There's nothing but transgenders and gays all over the place. I haven't seen one heterosexual female at all. But none of them. Not a single heterosexual female. You know, but it is so detailed about so many things, about my mother being raped and who's manipulating her. They are completely lying about my mother's identity. My biological mother's identity and her character and how she was and how I remember her. Not just how I want to, but who she was and what she said. They're completely erasing it to benefit Barack Obama. That's all they're fucking wanting to do. And that's it. It is unbelievable that this worthless son of a bitch, and I had everything taken away from me just simply because of his pig-infested behavior. I mean, you don't understand how worthless my life is to these goddamn motherfuckers. There's no justice to what they're doing. And, like I said, they're doing so many poisonous psychological shit to me that everything I do is psychology. Everything I do, whether it's talking to the guy upstairs or a roommate or whoever it may be, it's a tactic to come at me to go against my mother and Frankie being raped. And that's how we can justify, give this to Kenneth and Sarah. How can we divide this to make sure it goes about Jesus Christ and all the... This is just to get away with brutal murders, killings. There was deaths that happened because of this. This is just to get away to make a profitable gain from me. This is all this is. You know, to the political power of making a movement. Because I met Michael Jackson and they raped me with a transgender, and that's why. You know, I got a dead sister that didn't get a proper fucking funeral. And you have these parasitical motherfuckers that are just showing up like... Nobody was watching to see what these... The only way they're going to able to find out what's going on is if you have cameras around every environment that I was in. And you have to have a team of that. Number one, you have to have females, heterosexual females. That's the only people that can protect me and understand about what these people are doing. That's they're smart. They're the only ones smart enough to understand that. You have to have heterosexual females. That's the only fucking way. Only fucking way you're gonna understand to what they're fucking doing, because they understand exactly, because they play mothers to them about what the fuck this world is and so much of the toxicity in the world that we live in. But and how women behave towards straight men and guys like me, because we're not that common. And so I thought I would say something about this. I thought I would say something about this. I'm still pretty petrified about Casey dying, and throughout the day, I'm always thinking to myself, did Casey really die? Everything, she's dead, she died, I made a video, I saw the funeral. God, do I hope somebody's not lying to me. Did Bruce Migran really die? Like, I'm 42 in 4 fucking months, and I still don't have a fucking GED. I'm living in a fucking filthy basement. And these people whoever bought my mother a fucking $1.5 million house is now giving the treasures to Kenneth and Sarah and that Cooper family, to who really protected her, and they're the ones that gave her the house and protected her from the enemy, because I was just after their fucking money. It is unbelievable the words that these people fucking shared. I saved my brother from fucking 10 home, and that you don't understand that. If I didn't catch all of them, it was only because I just was not there that one single day. You can't be around every person. You can't be around watching someone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No matter how much, you're bound to catch some slip up. And there could have been somebody that just I didn't know, and there was a higher count than 10. I watched the behavior of a kid evolving to nothing but rapes and no friends at all. And you're having my mother's biological twin, who was never a part of my life, talk about how she wants to put me in a casket, trying to get me to sign a life insurance policy. The day before I left here, she's literally mocking my dead sister, my mother's identical triplet, one of the triplets. She's in the fucking car, and she tries to look at me all retarded like, my sister would have many years ago before she died. And then goes, okay, mira, vas allá y allí lo puedes ir allí y ahí está. Like you're making an impression and an acting role of my dead sister who's didn't come from you. That's not your fucking daughter. And if my mother loved her daughter but just couldn't do anything, how does I give their fucking triplet to make fun of my dead fucking sister? That's what you're fucking doing. Because the truth is, when Robert Zarate died, I had Alicia and Mary say the same thing, especially Alicia. Felt very disrespected the way that my mother was walking in front of that 17-year-old boy's casket. I mean, my mother was putting a fucking guy, it wasn't my mother, it was her twin. Putting a show on by somebody who got hit by a car at 70 miles a fucking hour, and he was 17 years old as his dad was dying of cancer in a fucking hospital. And you give it a 1.5 million. I understand that there is other things that I don't understand, at least when it pertains to that, because it could have been a psychologist or whatever else was going on. But that's a pretty disgusting form of act. Would make nobody want to, no son ever want to talk to your fucking ass. And that becomes very dangerous, because what that tells me is also that I think the psychologists are doing all this because they're witnessing a behavior that could be very dangerous and very toxic. And that is only a good remedy for President Barack Obama and the presidency and these higher leaders to have me killed and tortured. That's all that is. You have to get somebody in the inner circle so that they clean up, wipe their ass. That's what they need, toilet paper. That's what it is. But I watched the evolving of this. And what Sarah Cooper did, what Kenneth did, that fucking pig police officer, worthless son of a bitch, has been dead for a while, and Kenneth. And people are, all the white supremacists are treasuring this motherfucker. They absolutely don't give a goddamn fuck. Like, these dead bodies, these rapes, not only everything, all this credit, and it was, that's a president giving that. It doesn't matter at the end of the tunnel that it's going to be fixed. That doesn't matter. Because I'm living 20 years, let's praise and help Kenneth because we feel sorry for this piece of faggot transgender motherfucker. And he's a forgiveness story. And then he's just cool and we didn't understand. They justify and saying, go give him a rope so he hangs himself, you worthless motherfucker. You know, like, you piece of shit. There ain't no Christmases over here. You know, like, for the higher ups, they don't care. Like, there's no Christmases over here. There's fucking no birthdays over here. There's no Thanksgivings over here. Like, Frankie, I was his only friend. I was his only friend and his brother. I was the only one that ever played with Mickey, who was the guy, his dad and mom was the one that slapped and poisoned my mother and raped Frankie. For 10 years, playing soccer, playing basketball, playing sports, and having somewhat of a normal life, playing in a front yard, other than staying in his cage. Like, they're justifying that he was in his fucking room. Nobody understands what the shit I was seeing at Good Elementary, what those teachers and all these other motherfuckers that did. Why don't you go blast that over the radio stations for the next, when you become hip-hop station? Because this is what these motherfuckers do. Oh, he did the favors for the blacks, you know, because it's just, you know, it's a white guy at a black station, it's Eminem, you know, it's just how it works. You see how that, it's so fucked up. Because it's a race war. I come from an Hispanic Mexican family. We don't own entertainment in any way. We don't own the music industry and film industry. That's not us. That's all black and white over there. They're dominant over there. We're not. But it is very, very difficult to see that, and it gets taunted in front of me every minute of every day. You know, I was risking my life and I got nothing for it. I didn't get any money. Thank you, here, let me give you a large paycheck. I didn't get anything. They took my car when my dad died. I spent the money, the funeral money that I got from my dad dying for taking care of 7 fucking years in a fucking nursing home. You know, do the math, $1,000 a fucking year for 7 fucking years is what I get. They were begging me for fucking money. You know, like, they took the fucking car that I had. I didn't have anything. They took the house that was supposed to be my future. All the problems and everything that lay out when you're not living in your own house was because of that. You have no more shelter. And that's why they do that, because the problems stack up so high that you can't even explain it, and that's why they do that. And it's to know that to treasure an accomplished child molester because you want to get away and you want to get an excuse, and now let's all feel sorry because he was born dickless. Like, you know, I was eating my own brother's fucking feces. You know, I was on my fucking knees being child molested, sucking dick, you know, like, after my brother was getting fucked in his ass, you know, and like, you know, my brother's getting a mouthful of feces, and everyone's feeling sorry for Kenneth at the radio station, all these fucking pieces of shit, like, that's all this is. The transgender, it's just, goddamn. What I saw on the school parade, Frankie coming home, walking on a bike. When does a little boy that I met Michael Jackson, you know, right, when I'm 5 years old, walking home every day with a ripped ass open, with his ass completely ripped open and crying. You could smell fucking like the smell of insides and blood. and he didn't do anything, because this is hip hop station, and he really took care of him. He's how he exchanged his protection from Julian to keep Julian and Celestina protected, because he was just fooling Hector, and he was just detected. Like, that should have never not allowed to happen in any ownership. My mother does not like that family. They were never a part of our family. They were nothing. What happened in the most horrible moments continue to happen, and we continue to... Sarah Cooper was laughing at my dad's, her own father's funeral out loud in front of everybody. I mean, this is what Kenneth is doing. And it all was just like... And I have no identification for my mother. I mean, there's the President Barack Obama is the one that's doing this. He did it for the blacks. He did it. This is what he did it for. He doesn't give a goddamn fuck. You deal with somebody that likes killing people and doesn't, because he has to be the black president. You're not gonna ever win in a fight with that. That one is gonna die. That one is gonna die content, thinking that they never did anything wrong. Nothing. They get everything they want. God and Jesus are not bigger than Barack Obama and his fucking wife. They get everything they fucking want. And it has to come somebody else that has to come kill them, or do some shit to them. Nothing. There isn't going to be a rainfall of fucking archangels is going to blast them. There's not going to be anything like that. Nothing in this life like that happens. But it is horrific that this is being treasured. Because if you think that I'm going around telling everybody that Frankie got raped by 10 homosexual fucking men, they're the ones that were causing the shit. And the desperation of the electronic devices, the abuse that they were giving me, the threats that I feel like I have to explain and tell because I might die. I have to tell as many people because these motherfuckers are just milking the money and getting anything they fucking want. This is all they fucking want, because when I keep my mouth shut and I'm just wanting to go live a normal janitor job at a warehouse or at a mall or something like that, stay in a basic job, that isn't good enough. If I go to a print shop, they won't let me work. It's horrendous, because all they do, back in medieval times, crucifixes were used in order to kill people. For those that know and watch medieval movies, they walked and marched many miles with a crucifix is just the intent to kill human beings. That's the same mentality many of these people have still to this day. There is no belief in a crucifix or Jesus. That has nothing to do with it. I want to kill you because it's just I kill you, and that's what Jesus said. And they make up their own shit. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what the fuck they're doing. They just want to survive, and they created their own God in the way that they want. That's just the way it is, and they enjoy that. It is horrific because people that live the beauties of the world, and the underground people that nobody knows about, and have normal lives and really cater to whatever the world has. You can really enjoy the luxury life of so many different things and travel and whatnot instead of the circumstances. But it is they're just picking and choosing. There's no moral compass. There's no fucking moral compass at all whatsoever. None. But thought I'd make a video. I gotta get to bed. Gotta wake up early. Hopefully this touches base with some of you. I'm very terrified. If I have to leave, I will. My teeth are all fucked up. But I'll try somewhere else. But I'm trying to stay bunkered down to get all this situation, to get my GED. All I can do is try. It is unbelievable that, what a curse this has brought. There's no justice. I mean, they want me to live their lives that benefit them, and it doesn't benefit me the way that I choose and believe in. And they train me to eventually do that. because they know they got their hands in their pockets. My mother is as smart as a fucking bag of fucking rocks, and it's just a playground. Anything they tell my mother to do, slap her around, they'll get her to do. Oh, you like Barack Obama? Oh yeah, I like Barack Obama. Yeah, he's an angel. She doesn't know any better. My mother's lost. Her fucking twins, I know, have severely had to have contaminated my biological mother. They've had to. They've had to severely. There's no way you can have that sort of brain damage, in training. They completely made up the story. I was there when Julian was my mother was telling me about the twins. And they just said that they were heroes. They're the ones that clean up and their money paid off well. Because we met Michael Jackson and you went and helped the rapist and the fucking motherfucking transgender piece of shit that used poison, the fucking rat poison. God knows what kind of poison they fucking had. We put in our fucking food. Me and my mother. I walk in the subway and they're just feeling sorry for kids. Like, it's just, you're an accomplice to a fucking child rapist. And they don't care. This is not just 1, 2, 10. Over, and I know there had to have been more. I didn't catch. It happened on a quick trip. And you want to feel sorry because he's the one that did that for the old black radio station. He did that to y'all. And those pig motherfuckers, it's so selfish because they think that I'm just looking for a fight. They think I'm just looking for an argument just to feel right. And this is not what I'm trying to do. Because I'm shining the light on what's truth. And I'm not here just to look good in front of the public eye. This is not what this is. They don't understand a goddamn thing. They're very dark and very rotted and evil to do that behavior. And Barack Obama likes that because that's the way that pig motherfucker is as well with his goddamn fucking wife. And all his little politician shit. That's what that is. They had the gun to pull this on me. And they weren't scared to pull the trigger. And they had those pigs doing that type of shit. You have so many horrible monsters and people out there. Doing my best.